are two of the highest priority champions on this patch, just full stop. And they need to be taken care of. GP for Nate now has been banned away in this phase as opposed to the second phase. So I like that there from Ascension, recognizing that Nate could play to the bottom side of the map.
You can see that KLG are like, okay, we know who's strong on this Ascension lineup. Let's get rid of the top laners. Camille, Swain banned away. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Gnar ban as well against Rocket.
But I want to see what Rocky's able to pull out on this patch, because Conqueror came out. There's a lot of champions that you can play, a lot of counter picks that are very good with that Conqueror rune. Yasuo, for example, is one that you can always pull out and succeed with. But now we're seeing at least Kai'Sa or Caitlyn will make it through here because of the way that the bans are structured.
So if you're Ascension, who do you give up? Because you can either ban Kai'Sa or Caitlyn.
I think you ban neither. I think you maybe go for like Rakan or something, so it's not like a Xayah Rakan or a pinch, but I don't think you ban either because you give the other one up for free.
That makes a lot of sense. They are taking their time with this final ban and deciding to remove the Rakan. Great prediction there, Zyrene. Expect to see KLG either go for the Caitlyn or the Kai'Sa as one of their early lock-ins in this first phase.
Yeah, because if you leave Rakan up, they pick Rakan, that means you feel like you're forced to pick Xayah when Kai'Sa and Caitlyn are both up. And they pair perfectly fine with it. But right now, Ascension, I feel like Caitlyn Morgana is a very potent combination that you could take away right now if they want to play it. It's not really Rich's style. Rich loves things like the Braum and also the Rakan, which is banned away from him. But Kate Morg is like one of those combos you have to watch out for.
It's going to be the Caitlyn first for Lloyd, and then the Olaf for Intresso. Have to see how effective he is able to be on that. I'm actually intrigued to see KLG give up the Caitlyn, because Fix has been, he's 10-1 in the 11 games he's played that Caitlyn throughout the regular season. So going for the Kai'Sa instead shows that he has some confidence on it. They'll pick the Morgana for themselves to deny that Caitlyn-Morgana combo we talked about.
Oh, I'm so excited, man. Like, I love Kai'Sa so much. Like, when she first came out, I just played the crap out of her, and I love this champion. I love seeing her in action. I'm kind of jealous I didn't get to cast the previous game where she popped off from Lodic, but now we'll see if Fix is able to have a similar performance here with a Morgana behind him, which gives her a lot of mobility. You can't actually nail her down during that time with the Black Shield, so the mobility in her kit, usually you want to just say, like, sit down, stunned, can't move. Morgana prevents that from happening.
And then you've got the Morgana to help out the Skarner as well. Means that you can't deny any impales with the Black Shield. You can also put the Black Shield on the Skarner as he runs straight towards the backline and basically can't stop him getting there. It's going to be Ornn for Rocky in the top lane. So a bit more of a tank, less of a carry for the Ascension top lane.
Disappointed, but it does make a lot of sense here. It means that Lloyd now gets to kind of have that protection. And when you have a Caitlyn, protecting her is of the utmost importance. Her range advantage and having a strong front line is key. And I heard before, it was kind of like some GPL analysts were saying that G4 and Lloyd are the fire and ice of the team. G4 is the guy who's going to pop off. He's going to make the risky plays. He's the fire of the team. He's got that spark. But then Lloyd, he's the cool-headed one. He's the ice of the team. He's the one who focuses on positioning, keeping a cool head no matter what's happened in the game. And so now they have a pretty long-range scaling champion for him, and they have extra safety now to keep that ice extra cool.
I love this Soraka pick, mostly because I was playing solo queue the other day, right? And I picked Morgana. I was like, I'm fine. You know, Morgana's easy. Someone picked Soraka into me, put 3 points in her E, and destroyed me in lane. Just you wait. We'll have to see if Rich goes down that path, but we know he likes to be aggressive. Would not be surprised if we see him getting a lot of points in towards the E, getting a lot of damage down. It's going to be a Vlad on the side of Chaos Latin Gamers. Could be mid, could be top, of course. We'll see what their final pick is to round out this composition.
I assume it's mid here. But Nate did play, a mage top lane in the Swain last game. But I think this would go mid here for Plugo. And they're going to pick a tank for the top lane. I love this, though. The true damage, very effective against tanks.
Very good at shredding them down. Really good, actually, tank shredding composition all round from KLG.
And Cho'Gath is pretty much the best tank in 2 Banner of Command matchups because he can go ahead and devour the cannon minion, whereas others kind of have to just bonk it for like 60 damage over and over again. So Cho'Gath gets priority on it, gives you objective control. Chaos Latin Gamers, so far, their composition, short range, but the Morgana will help enable them for picks, whereas Ascension rounded out with the Cassio, great counter pick into the Vlad, but now they're playing a little bit more front-to-back team fight here GPL, I do like this composition as well. It's pretty what you would call standard. You have a support that's going to heal people up. You have a mid-range, like pretty much sustained DPS mage in the mid lane, and then you have this artillery from the Caitlyn. So those front-to-back team fights are what you're looking for from Ascension. Chaos Latin Gamers, more mid-range, more dive, I would say as well with the Vlad.
So perhaps a little bit more aggressive on the side of KLG. They're the ones that need to make the plays, whereas Ascension should be happy getting a couple of items under their belt, scaling up, getting the Ardent Sensor on the support, getting Kate to 2-3 items, getting Cassio to that point as well.
Yeah, and the damage that happens in the lane will be sustained up by Rich with the Soraka onto Lloyd, whereas the Morgana, the damage that Fix sustains from the Caitlyn with that range disadvantage. Remember, it's 525 to 650 is the range difference there. So he's going to be taking some damage. It's not going to be healed up.
Have to keep our eyes on that bot lane as well. The top lane matchup was the one we were bigging up before the game. We thought Rocky would have a strong matchup into Nate. They'd give him a carry. That doesn't seem to be the case. We will keep our eyes on him still, but expect that top lane just to be two people bumping their heads into each other. Bot lane is the place to focus. Maybe those junglers as well trying to work their way around the map.
Yeah, but I know that Rocky is somebody that once he starts getting a lane pushing, he's not going to sit in that lane. If he gets lane priority with this Ornn, I expect him to go towards mid or the jungle and start using his ultimate to make some picks.
We are going to get onto the Summoner's Rift. It is our 5th game of the day. Chaos Latin Gamers from the CLS up against Ascension Gaming from the GPL. I have to remember, it's Ascension's first ever international tournament, or a major international tournament. They have competed at Rift Rivals, always playing second fiddle to Gigabyte Marines, to the other teams coming out from Vietnam.
Yeah, in 2017 spring, that's when Ascension Gaming was formed, and they got second to Gigabyte Marines coming into MSI. So they missed out on MSI. And then in summer 2017, they got third right behind Young Generation and Gigabyte Marines. So they missed out on Worlds. So this is their first appearance internationally here. They do have some members that were on Bangkok Titans before, but this is them coming in saying this is the Ascension lineup, this is the representation from the GPL, and that they're here to make a statement. And so far, they've done a good job of getting leads, or at least keeping the games even. It's just closing it out has been the big issue for them so far.
That it has, but I think for your first major international tournament, you can be pretty happy if you're an Ascension Gaming fan. Looks like Tearwolf's going to start up towards the top side here. Rocky is in a position to check it, and will do that as the blue buff spawns. Actually, Tearwolf just dodging around the side here. Oh, that's so smart. They were able to keep Tearwolf out of vision. The ping did come down from Ascension, so maybe they realized this is still happening.
It's pretty tricky, though. It's very clever. Tearwolf will be able to pick up his blue buff. And it means that the bottom lane, they didn't want to leash for the bottom lane. So the bottom laners can push. Because if you give Caitlyn or you give Kai'Sa a little bit of an advantage in this lane in terms of pushing, then you just get level 2 hit on you first, and then you end up getting pushed in. And so you can see right here, even Loy is just walking up further to just make sure he can get to the minions faster and try to clear them out.
He's a player with a lot of experience. Rich, actually a very new support for this team as well. Only really been playing since last year, so have to rely on those members of the Bangkok Titans, G4 and Lloyd, to give him that veterancy from the team. Level 2 hit first for Lloyd and Rich, but not going to be too much of an advantage if they just push in the way. Fix take a lot of chunk there.
Yeah, and like I said, he can't heal that up, right? And he doesn't even have fleet footwork. He has press the attack, which signals to me that he's probably going for a Kai'Sa build that has a little bit more attack speed, E-evolution as fast as possible for the supercharger. Whereas if you do go for fleet footwork, it signals more of like an Essence Reaver crit build where you'll actually have a lot of healing behind it. Another thing to point out here is Rich has barrier, so no ignite, no exhaust here for the Soraka. It's just kind of keeping his own butt safe. If somebody gets on him, he's like, okay, at least I have something. But oh, Slow!
Yeah, Ignite comes out as well. Lloyd forced away, has to use the heal, but Slow jumps forward for the last auto attack. And Rich had taken Equinox, so didn't have any heals for his AD carry.
Yeah, he's just been going for the harass pattern, but then Slow walks up. Even though Fix is low, he lands the binding, and that signals it's time to go. Lloyd drops and uses both summoner spells. Of course, KLG have to use 4 to get him, but man, that's what happens when somebody doesn't have exhaust. But hold on.
G4 caught out as well. The Ignite from Plugo, flash in from Tearwolf. Didn't hit the fracture, and so G4 is able to dodge around.
Yeah, it didn't hit the fracture, and Plugo didn't have the Q back up yet, so didn't want to commit for the flash either. But they're getting summoner spells across the map, and Slow walks up. Lloyd, ooh, not able to get there just barely. And now with the summoner spells down,
Slow puts down the Black Shield with a great binding. Teleport coming in behind them as well. Rich has nowhere to go, still has the barrier, will pop it. Trap comes out as well, flash from Rich. The fact that it was he who got caught out and still had his summoners up meant that Ascension were able to get away. It's KLG making the aggressive plays. We said they were the team that needed to be proactive, Zyme.
I mean, it's something that we've seen from both these teams as well. KLG, they like to be proactive. They're very aggressive early. Ascension, same thing. That's when we were doing our research. It was like Ascension, they're really scrappy. They win a lot of these skirmishes. That's how like they've won their region. And we've talked about it before. These are all champions. These teams know how to win games. And the way that Ascension have been doing it is those early scrappy fights. I want to see more.
Through their top laner, Rocky, who has a 12 CS lead in this lane. We wondered if he could be that dominant. Well, he's showing it already. You can see he loves to push forward in the lane. He loves to get that CS advantage.
52.6%. So forward percentage is a stat where you basically cut the lane in half through the river, and then the amount of time that they're spending on the opponent's half of the map, not your own, the opponent's half of that line, that starts ticking towards forward percentage. He spends 52.6% of his, he spends more time on the enemy side of the map than his own in the early game. That is showing that he loves to pressure and he loves to keep the other guy underneath his turret.
And it means that the enemies can't CS as well in the early game, so you get these small CS advantages. He's going to come back up towards the top lane, doesn't use his teleport for it.
Exactly, which signals to me that he's looking for an opportunity when he hits 6 to potentially go to another lane, TP bottom or something for a dive that can't be answered by Nate. That's where you make a game-breaking play in the early game, is with that advantage.
That it is. Looks like Tearwolf and Intresso are going to meet up in the jungle once again. Tearwolf and a chase in here. Intresso to pop the Predator. Actually, that was Tearwolf using his. There's the binding as well from the side, and Tearwolf just doesn't really have anywhere to go.
Yes!
Great
yes,
stuff from
Tearwolf.
Intresso.
Oh my god. He's handing the kill over to his laner. Exactly what you should do. That is jungle etiquette right there.
Might make Intresso slightly mad. We'll have to see if he's able to come back into this game. He will play used in the mid lane as well onto G4 just for some sustain from Plugo. And Plugo getting that kill helps him out so much in this matchup. As you said, the Cassiopeia is a good pick into the Vladimir.
Ooh, yeah, it's a great pick into it. It's that old classic counter pick where if you land that Q, you just train them down. Interesting though. Oh, Tearwolf going back in.
He just doesn't like enemy junglers. Every single game he's going aggressive, but he's the one losing out on this one. Rich there as well. Tearwolf solo, G4 from the side. Lloyd gets the first kill, but here come the next ones, all coming out from KLG. Intresso, a double. Lloyd in the midst of it all. Plugo, Sanguine Pool keeps himself alive for the time being. Lloyd has to get away, but the binding connects. And KLG win out in the jungle.
And Tearwolf goes for another invade, but everybody collapses. That's 4 kills for KLG.
That is just absolutely incredible. Already Shurelia's on Plugo.
Okay.
You're building up towards the Ginsu's on Fix. The kills are going across towards the carries. That's exactly what you want if you're Chaos Latin gamers. And you can see it's just Intresso going a bit too deep to start us off.
Yeah, he went to go check the Raptors, and that's where Tearwolf, who was lying in wait there, uses the Predator, walks past him just so he's not just right behind him when he starts it. Binding comes through. Oh, observers!
I guess it's the version down on towards Rocky, who was coming down through the river, but Fix and Plugo on their way as well, and Rocky catches himself in a very sticky situation. Fix gets the kill. KLG are coming out perfectly at this early game.
Yeah, and that kind of just fixes all of the issues that had happened early with that bottom lane. Lloyd, he ended up dropping, and then boom, now he has a CS advantage. Doesn't matter, Fix is way far ahead.
Oh, they were looking for the Void Seeker from long range there. Could have followed it up with the Killer Instinct.
He doesn't have level 6 just yet.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Because there was already a mark of plasma on him from the binding, so I was expecting him to jump in, but like you said, I had to double check it myself. But yep, they fight, but all right, roll call. Who's coming up here? Rich is in attendance. Rich gonna have to get out of there. Tearwolf goes down, and now you see Ascension have a good position, but it's a bad position because they're already low from this. And Plugo, oh,
that was very close.
That was very close. I think if the net hits the Vladimir, he kills the Vladimir before he can get in range with the Q. I'm loving this animation from the players here.
We're 9 minutes in and we've had 9 kills.
Let's go!
Pretty happy with the way this game's going. It's a 2,000 gold lead for KLG as well. CS leads slightly for Ascension, but Tearwolf has been dominant in that jungle, and with it, gets about 20 farm ahead.
Yeah, and now you can see where it's manifesting on the rest of the map. Plugo now feels really good. Completed item on the Shirelias, allowed him to harass there, and this is a bad matchup for the Vladimir. Then Fix, bad matchup for the Kaisa because the range disadvantage. Well, he's about to have his Rage Blade. He has 1,000 gold in his inventory. He could get the Blasting Wand soon, and then boom, or I guess the Amp Tome now. And then he's going to have that item very early on. Before, I believe Lloyd would be able to complete pretty much anything in that bottom side. He's only got 700 gold, plus the BF, and then the boot. But Fix is well on his way. That Rage Blade spike is huge for Kaisa.
And it's so big for the KLG bottom lane as well that they haven't just been hard pushed in this lane. You have to look at a Caitlyn Soraka and think they should be pushing that lane in. They should be looking for the tower. But KLG have played well around their bottom lane once again and been able to get them these advantages. Emo Plague used by Plugo in the mid lane, turns into Petrifying Gaze. G4 there, here comes Intereso. Tearwolf teleports, KLG and Ascension not willing to give this one up. Flash away from Tearwolf, Rocky joins the fight, the knock up onto Plugo, looking for the Sanguine Rush, gets it, the suppression, pulls Rocky underneath the tower, but he gets away as well. And it ends up being no deaths in the mid lane.
Yeah, which is insane. That looked like if Plugo had landed his E onto G4, he would have killed G4 with his combo. And then right there, Rocky, he's so close. He's just basically almost in auto attack range. And Tearwolf with the perfect suppression there to pull him off to the side and save his laner's life.
It's just non-stop action in this game, and KLG are coming out on top, trying to get to that 2-win scoreline that Gambit already sit at in this group. It's just there's so much momentum behind this team as well. After beating Rainbow Seven, after taking down the team that had been looked at as the superior team in the Latin America region, now being able to move into this next game, get early kills, play to their team composition, is working out well for KLG.
And KLG, like, they went to Worlds, and it was a 1-3 performance from them. If they win this game here, that's just showing, hey, we can just wipe that one from the records for a bit.
Twice as good as last year.
Exactly. They're doing an amazing job here, but it just blows the group wide open. Like I said, we could have a 3-way tie at the end of the day, which means that you really have to do your homework in the next day, and then you come back on the 5th, come back in 2 days, and then just try to win the group because they're just up in the air. But slow, he's going to look for the binding.
It hits a minion, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just have to accept. Not every binding can hit. Take the ones that do. Tearwolf is down towards his bottom side as well. He's going to sweep away that ward, but the pressure applied by Tearwolf here is great.
Yeah, and I love that he already swapped to the sweeper. You can get it before level 9 now. You can get it level 1. And so he has that, and he walks around and he just clears out 2 wards. And this means that this bottom lane, which is already at an item disadvantage, now has to go into a CS deficit, start losing turret damage, and now Tearwolf starts looking at the jungle as well. So they're just able to start snowballing this. And this turret's almost dead here, and Fix has that item spike that we talked about earlier.
And getting the Ginsus early on when you're only sitting at a BF seal on the side of the Caitlyn is huge. Not able to quite take down the tower yet, but now he can step up that minion there, and tower does fall. Fix looking for the Void. Seeker jumps into the midst of Lloyd and Rich. Rich has to flash away, but the press the attack is doing work. Heal, shield used as well. Lugo coming in from the side, G4's on his way. Here's Intereso in the backline, but he will be killed by Fix. KLG managing to get 1-for-1 trade there. Jungler for jungler, and Ascension unable to continue the chase.
So I do want to talk about something that is almost never tracked, and that's Ginsu's Rage Blade stacks. You should, hold on, G4, not going to be able to chase him down. Okay. Ginsu's Rage Blade stacks.
Tell me, Simon.
Ever since I started playing Kaisa, I realized there's a huge difference between having the 6 and having none. It sounds dumb to say, but literally she does way more damage. But what happens here is Fix, he stacks it up to 6 there, and then he keeps the stacks by hitting minions. Then when he goes on the Olaf, he's already applying 2 plasma every time he hits, and he just obliterates him and gets those full stacks immediately. So if the Kaisa's able to keep 6 stacks, which we saw Lodic do as well, it actually just destroys fights on the latter half. And if you're able to stack it off minions or a little bit of the early skirmish and come into the fight like that, people die way faster than they expect.
So because I'm not good at tracking those small things, that's on you, Zone. You shout it out. You say 6 stacks in the middle of a team fight when we see Fix turn it around, okay? We'll keep our ears out for that. Fix now moved up towards the top lane. First Tower Blood did go across towards KLG, and they are 3,000 gold ahead, coming up towards the 15-minute mark or so. It's a monumental lead for them, in all honesty. Even going for things like the Rift Herald, taking the Cloud Drake for themselves as well.
Oh, and Kai'Sa's one of the best objective killers. Because her passive does about 400 damage capped against monsters, she can do most objectives, Baron, Rift Herald, very quickly. One of the fastest in the game at it. And there's no cooldown on that, right? It's just how often she can actually get those attacks off. So once you have that Rage Blade stacked, you just cycle it over and over again. She's
Just
gonna take
getting as much attack speed as she can with the triple dagger Zerka's Ginsu build as well.
Yeah, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, I believe that gets you. Yeah, that does get you your evolution. So that's the fastest way to get it there as you're going towards that Runaan's build.
Hero Plague and Ignite used onto G4 in the mid lane. As you said, Plugo, after being part of those kills, has just been able to win out this lane. G4 gets the wish out, and Tearwolf just dodging around, but now it's going to be underneath the tower, and Treso there as well, and Tearwolf stayed way too long.
Yep, he was kind of caught in there. Plugo, though, gonna get trained down.
Still has Flash, will use it. Heal was popped by G4. And as much as the Undertow can hit, he's under the tower by now.
Yeah, Tearwolf, his flash wasn't up just yet. He would have definitely flashed and then R'd, but he used his R there at the last second. That was kind of one of those panic ones. At that point, you just die, just accept it. And throws it away, though.
So across the board, advantages for KLG. But we have to remember, we talked about the scaling that comes out from Ascension. They have this front-to-back team fight. And we'll see G4 survive right here in the mid lane.
G4, nullifying orb, helps him out a bit there, absorbs some of it, gets the wish, so Tearwolf wants to back off, but he backs off right into Intresso. That's one of the things, like, you don't see a lot of Soraka, and when she comes in, she definitely just manipulates the health bars of her team when you're going for one of those dives. You always have to kind of just double check it. It's almost like having a Shen on the enemy team. You just have to keep it in mind before you do almost anything.
And we have got double ignite on the side of KLG, so they can mitigate some of that healing when we get to team fights. Not there yet, though. At the moment, still in that sort of laning phase, switched laning phase, I guess you could say. Irelia is going to be used by Plugo here, but unable to chase onto G4. Still a flash available for Tearwolf, wants to go for the engage. Nate spotted out in this bottom lane by Intresso and Rocky. They'll get the Call of the Forge God, knock up the Void Monster for the moment. Tearwolf's on his way, though. Nate flashes away, will be the first to fall. Tearwolf here, flash away as well from Intresso. And Tearwolf might continue to chase onto Rocky for the time being because his mid laner and support are on their way up as well. Rocky doesn't really have many places to go apart from away from him.
Yeah, but that's going to leave Fix in the mid lane. And Fix is kind of the big carry in the game right now. He has the most gold in the entire game. He's sitting at 7,400. Next highest on his team is 6,300, and that's the next highest in the game. So this Kai'Sa that's up against a Caitlyn that doesn't even have a completed item has 1.5 completed items. He can actually get his Runaan's Hurricane right now and be at a 2-item spike before the Caitlyn even has one. She's going to complete the Static Shiv in just a moment. Yeah, the flash over the wall to get him out, and then the reset. Yeah, Static Shiv finally done for Lloyd, but 4-1-3 on this Kai'Sa. He's just doing so much work.
Especially since Kai'Sa scales into the game as well. So strong in that late game. As you said, it's about getting the plasma off as often as possible. And you do that better when you have more items to help you attack quicker. Rift Herald used in the mid lane as KLG group up as a 3-man to try and pressure on towards this tower. Kai'Sa in the top lane dealing with Rocky for the moment. Rift Herald should be able to get a decent chunk on this tower as soon as the minion wave is cleared.
Once she stops paying attention to minions, here we go, and that'll actually kill it. Oh,
not quite, but the engage is going to come out straight in with a flash, and G4 flashes the wall but can't get away from Fix, who is on a killing spree on the Kai'Sa. Mid lane tower falls. KLG might continue to pressure here. Instead, decide they don't need any more towers for the moment.
And that's going to be them finishing off the Rift Herald, but KLG, they're up 3,000 gold. And a lot of that gold is on Fix, on this Kai'Sa, who's about to hit 2 items. And then when he gets that Death's Dance 3rd item, he becomes much harder to kill. It becomes pretty overwhelming because Death's Dance with the 80 AD, plus I believe the 25 that you get from the Ginsu's Rage Blade, puts you above 100, so you have your Q and your E evolution. So the Acathian Rain heals so much.
And it does. Slow's not in the best of positions here. He's going to put the Soul Shackles what this is. Teleport coming in as well. Slow with a fancy feat to get away from that one. Nate joins the party. Righteous Glory chase. Flash is available from Rocky. He'll use it. And there is a tower here for him to escape to as well. Fix does have the opportunity if he can land a Void Seeker to jump in, but instead just going to push out the way.
Yeah, and this will get them this top turret because they're going to be able to have almost everybody up here. Vladimir's going to rotate towards mid, but Fix will be able to pick up this turret here.
And this is just so good from KLG across the board. Ascension haven't been bleeding too much, though. I remember about the 14-minute mark I was saying it's a 4,000 gold lead for KLG. It's still only around that point, so Ascension able to stem the tide a little bit. They're engaging onto Tearwolf in the top lane. G4 slowed up. Fix here as well, but Rich gonna flash in with the Equinox, puts it down in front of them. Fix with a great jump away. Tearwolf will fall to Ascension here, but Fix was able to get himself to safety. Plugo now joins in with the Shurelias and the Hemo Plague onto Rocky and Tresso. Fix off towards the side as well. Rich still alive. Slow here with the Dark Binding as well. Misses, but Rich is now not in a good place at all. Fix with the double can chase into G4, and KLG have collapsed on Ascension, and they will wipe them off the face of Summoner's Rift. That superb binding from long range, and Fix gets the triple.
Man, Fix on this Kai'Sa, 8-1-3. He ran away from the fight at the start, but then realized, wait, I can turn this around, cleans it up on this Kai'Sa, and he is doing phenomenally well. The team is playing best supporting actor too here. They are doing so well to enable this Kai'Sa.
We said they had to make the proactive plays, and you can see it there. KLG were out, you know. Tearwolf was dead. It's like, fine, we got our AD carry out, and Plugo says, oh no you don't. I'm coming in from the side. I'm going to engage with the Hemo Plague, and they just follow it up and kill man after man after man.
And there's just this stark difference between what's been going on the map for these players. You look at Fix, he's 11 out of the 13 in terms of kill participation. Same thing with the Soraka. But then you have this Cho'Gath that has 1 kill, 0 assists. So Nate has kind of just been on the opposite side. Really good there from Fix to jump to the other side. And he's able to come back in here. And now he gets those 6 stacks very quickly. You can see it starts hitting the doubles there. Goes after Rich, 2 for 1 on the stacks. And then he's able to just clean up. The Runeance Hurricane will apply the stacks, and when you have the Rage Blade stacked up, you'll apply the 2 stacks on everybody.
Great to see Nate get the solo kill down towards the bottom side as well, yeah. Lloyd just wasn't really respectful of the fact that Nate could chase him down. Didn't even use the flash to get himself away. And it becomes much more of a mountain now for Ascension to climb. Just before that fight started, I said they were still in an okay position. It's not looking too okay for them now.
Well, what we've seen from Ascension so far is games where it looks a little bleak in the early parts, and then it gets to this point where, hey, it looks like they can come back here. They start taking some team fights off of Rainbow or Gambit. And it's like, wait, are they actually going to win this? They had a game where they had a bot inhibitor down. They were trading parts of the map and almost won, but see if they're able to get back in this one, and they think that catching Plugo is the way to do it, but not quite. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, Fix is godlike. This is the reason we've seen Kai'Sa banned so many times this tournament. You just can't give it over. As soon as you get to 2-3 items, looks like he might even be going Infinity Edge next instead of the Death's Dance with the BF sword. So just going even more aggressive. He's 9-1. Another suppression's coming out here onto G4. Tries to get himself away, but Fix is legendary. Rich is going to go down as well. It's a double for Fix. The Argentinian AD carry coming up big for KLG.
11-1-3. One of the best scorelines that you'll see in the play-ins. That is a dominant performance there. The Kai'Sa, I mean, I thought it was going to be on permaban status. The Kai'Sa Caitlyn, I thought those are the 2 that Red side might have to ban. And Ascension, you can see they're paying for it here because they took the Caitlyn, thought they would win the matchup, but the Kai'Sa is just coming out on top here.
Part of it's not playing to your strengths as well. You know, Rocky has been the key player for Ascension. They gave him an Ornn to Cho'Gath matchup, which is not the best in the world, and they have struggled because of it. Rest of the lanes has just been Tearwolf influencing it, Plugo influencing it, and Fix and Slow just stepping up as a bot lane together. You have to remember they got the kill on the Caitlyn at level 2 in the pure 2v2 matchup.
Yeah, they were pretty much losing that lane. They got chunked out. The Soraka is just going to be very oppressive when she gets level 3 in the heal, but Slow lands the perfect binding onto Lloyd, who didn't respect it, and that was kind of the way that they turned the tides in pretty much the whole game. As we're now looking at this Kai'Sa that's up about 4,500 gold in just this matchup alone. He's got over 150% of the enemy's gold on Lloyd. That's just disgusting. Nobody's hit 10K yet in the game. It's just him at that almost 13,000.
That is exactly where you want your Kai'Sa to be as well, though. Like, getting all those extra kills onto him early game just helped him snowball away. Plugo turns onto Entresso here, who is engaging onto him in the top lane. Sanguine Paul into the Proto Belt.
It's rocking out.
Has to get away. Plugo dodging around from this. 3 members of Ascension trying to surround him. The knock-up from Rocky. Eventually, Plugo will fall in the top lane, but they sacrifice an Infernal Drake to get him.
Now, Tierwolf will pick up this Infernal Drake, and it'll go over to Fix, who's going to make great use of it. Has the Infinity Edge, so now he has 2 crit items. And that's one of the things about Kai'Sa. Her builds are so fluid. Once you have the Rage Blade, you can pretty much go for almost anything afterwards. Nashor's works, Runan's works, Infinity, Essence Reaver, Death's Dance. I've seen Hextech Gunblade. It really just depends on what you like in the build. And when I see a Vamp Scepter, for me, I'm not even just going, oh, that's going to be a Death's Dance. It could be Gunblade to get the 3rd evolution, but look at this! Oh!
So much damage, and the binding once again from Slow across the wall. He's been absolutely on point with those. Part of 15 of his team's 17 kills, and now the Baron will be started. No jungler for Ascension, and you've got a Cho'Gath on KLG. Very low, the suppression jump in onto G4. The Cho'Gath is that frontline Baron still alive though. Rich dead, G4 dead, Ascension falling to pieces in the hands of Fix. Another binding from Slow, a double for Tierwolf and the Baron on the cut.
They just did that without Plugo. That was literally Fix plus the rest of the team there trying to just take on the other 4 members of Ascension. An even fight, but not even close to even based on the gold that was there.
I want to give so much credit to Nate across the course of the last 2 games. We came into game 1 saying he is one of the weak points of this team. He is one of the points that teams will focus on and be able to take out. He has not looked like that. Yes, he's had okay matchups. Yes, he hasn't been focused, but he's been able to stand up to his enemy top laners and catch important players out like that.
Yeah, and Nate, his CC so far in the 2 games that we've seen in the last, I guess, back-to-back here, he has been on point. He kind of shook off that first game, said, you know what, doesn't matter. Now he's able to play the Cho'Gath and the Swain, and we got to see this one more time. The 1v1, Kai'Sa's a pretty good champion.
I want to give credit to our observers as well, because that looked
They're sick. Wait.
That looked so good.
I'm sitting here going, are these the same guys that observe my games during, the regular season? Because what are we feeding them here in Berlin?
EU production, man. It's EU production. Stepped it up across the course of the last split. And KLG have stepped it up across the course of the last couple of games as well. An 11,000 gold lead, 26 minutes in. They look indomitable, unstoppable, and on their way to their 2nd win of MSI.
Which is absolutely huge for KLG. They've come up short constantly when they've tried to make those play-ins a little further. Fix is going to be backed up here.
Engagement from Plugo though, pops the Shurelius, gets the Hemo Plague on all of the backline, the suppression. The legendary Fix once again gets himself the kill. The inhibitor tower will fall, as will the inhibitor not shortly after. You have to think maybe even the game here for KLG if they want to push forward.
Yeah, they have the ability to push forward. They don't have that middle tier 2, but they got the root!
Another binding from long range, another kill for Fix. He is absolutely indestructible this game. 14, 1, and 5, and KLG are pounding on the Nexus now. Ascension, no hope left on the Summoner's Rift for them. They'll go 0-3, but KLG will bring it back after a bad game 1 and go 2-1 in this group. They want to make it to the knockouts. They want to make it into the group stage, and they are well on their way.
Chaos Latin Gamers, the unexpected heroes of today. 2-1 at the end of day 1. They shook off the loss against Gambit, the very first game of the day, where their composition, Fix, just got jumped on over and over again. The Jhin against the Galio and the GP. That was a nightmare. This game was the polar opposite. He was in Kai'Sa heaven. Slow as his right-hand man, landing the bindings to set him up. Deserves a lot of credit as well, but that was a game that KLG will remember.
And Fix will definitely remember as well. I think the only thing to top that game would have been if he'd got a pentakill in it as well. Always the opportunity on something like a Kai'Sa. Superb performance from KLG all around, but have to give credit to Ascension across the course of their first day here. Their first 2 games were very strong. The early game there, they were able to fight back at times. It just snowballed away from them a little bit too much.
Yeah, but Ascension now go 0-3, and now it means that it's going to be very, very difficult for them to actually make it out of the group.
But we do have the opportunity for a three-way tie at the top of the group. Rainbow 7 up against Gambit next. If Rainbow 7 win that, everyone will be sitting at 2-1. And you never know. You never know how things are going to change between today and Saturday when the next round of this group is played.
Chaos Latin Gamers, you can see, just absolutely elated. They took down Rainbow 7 today. They took down Ascension in a convincing game there. The most convincing victory that we've had today over Ascension. And now, I really want to hear what the analysts